Hi guys, welcome to our channel Share Experience. Today we are going to learn how to prepare cash book, that is single column cash book. Now we'll see the problem. Here we have 11 transactions. We can post these transactions in two ways. The first way is we will find whether it is a receipt or payment. Accordingly, we will put the account in the cash book. The second way is once we find the payment or receipt, we will write the journal entry for the transaction. Based on the journal entry, we will post in the cash book. As we know that cash book follows ledger rules, so it will be easy for us if we write the journal entry first and then we will post it into cash book. Our first transaction is cash in hand 2,20,000. Cash in hand means opening cash balance. We should always mention to balance brought down on the debit side of the cash book. So the date is November 1st to balance brought down and 2,20,000 in the cash column. In the place of cash in hand, if we see a transaction like the business started with a capital of 2,20,000, then we have to mention to capital on the debit side in the place of to balance brought down. Okay? Our next transaction is cash received from Tim 20,000. Since we have received cash, we can just mention to Tim on the debit side, that is on the receipt side. But if we are confused about the side, like debit side or credit side, then we can write the journal entry first, then we will post it in the cash book. So the journal entry would be cash account debtor to Tim account. Here, Tim is credited. So, in the cash book, we will mention it on the debit side. By mentioning to Tim, and the amount is 20,000 in the cash column. The date is November 4th. Our next transaction is insurance paid 50,000. Here also we can just mention as buy insurance on the credit side of the cash book. But if you guys want to know whether we are posting it correctly or not, then we can write the journal entry first and then post it into the cash book. So the journal entry would be insurance account debtor to cash account. Insurance account debtor to cash account. Here insurance is debited. So we will mention it on the credit side of the cash book as buy insurance, and the date is November 8th, and we'll mention it as buy insurance, and the amount is 50,000 in the cash column. Our next transaction is purchased furniture 10,000 plus CGST and SGST at 5% each. Here, tax is attached to purchases. Whenever we find tax along with purchases, then we have to consider it as input tax, because we are buying furniture. That means furniture is coming into our business. For that we are paying tax. So it is called as input tax. First we will calculate the tax, then we will post it into the cash book. Here the furniture value is 10,000 and the percentage is 5%. So 10,000 into 5 by 100, which comes to 500. This 500 is for CGST and another 500 is for SGST, because in the problem they have mentioned 5% each. Now we will write the journal entry, that is furniture account debtor to cash account. Here furniture is debited, so in the cash book we will mention it on the credit side by mentioning buy furniture, and the amount is 10,000. The date is November 13th. Also we will mention CGST and SGST as buy input CGST 500 and buy input SGST 500. The date will be same for all the three. Our next transaction is sold goods for cash 40,000 plus CGST and SGST at 5% each. Whenever we see tax for sales, then we have to consider it as output tax. Okay? For purchases, it will be input tax, and for sales, it would be output tax. In the above transaction, that is purchased furniture, instead of furniture, if we are buying any goods or machinery, we have to consider it as input tax. Any purchases and tax is added to purchases, then it will be input tax. If tax is added to sales, then it will be output tax. So first we will calculate tax, then we will prepare the journal. The sale value is 40,000 and the GST is 5%. So 40,000 into 5 by 100, which comes to 2,000. Okay. So the journal entry would be cash account debtor to sales account. Okay. Here sales is credited, so we have to mention it on the debit side of the cash book. So debit side. Here credit side, that is this is credit side, and we have to mention this on the debit side in the cash book by mentioning two sales, and the sale value is 40,000. In the cash column we will mention 40,000 and the date is November 16th. And also we have GST. So we will mention 2 output GST, output CGST 2000 and 2 output SGST 2000. The date remain same for all the three. Now our next transaction is purchased goods from Tim on credit. So whenever we see a term called credit in the transactions, while preparing cash book, we just have to ignore it, because in cash book we will record only cash transactions. We will not record any credit transactions. So we can ignore this transaction. Our next transaction is purchased stationery 500. So whenever we have purchased anything, that will come in the payment side. But anyways, we will prepare the journal and then we will post it in the cash book. So the journal entry would be purchases account debtor to cash account. Here purchase is debited. In the cash book, we will mention it on the credit side by mentioning buy stationery. The amount is 500 and the date is November 20th. Our next transaction is cash paid to Mike, full settlement of account 12,500. So whenever we paid, it will comes on the payment side. But the journal entry would be Mike account debtor to cash account. Here Mike is debited. So we have to mention it on the credit side in the cash book. Credit side in the cash book by mentioning by Mike. And the value is 12,500 in the cash column. And the date is November 24th. Next transaction is paid monthly rent 2,500. Whenever we have paid, it will be coming under payment side. But the journal entry would be rent account debtor to cash account. Okay. Here rent is debited. So we have to mention it on the credit side in the cash book. Credit side in the cash book. By mentioning by rent. And the value is 2,500. The date is November 30th. Our last transaction is cash withdrawn for personal use 3,000. So, when the proprietor withdraws any goods or cash for personal use, it will come under drawings account. So, the journal entry would be drawings account debtor to cash account. Here drawings is debited. So we will mention it on the credit side of the cash book. By mentioning by drawings. And the value is 3,000. The date is November 30th. Now we have posted all the transactions that are there in the problem. Now we will add all these amounts on the debit side and credit side. On the debit side, we will get 2,84,000 and on the credit side, we will get 79,500. So, as per the balancing rule, we will mention the highest amount on both the sides. That is 2,84,000. Now we will deduct 79,500 from 2,84,000, which comes to 2,04,500. That we will mention it on the credit side. That is 2,04,500 and we will mention as by balance carried down. And we'll mention the month and date because we are preparing cash book on the month end. Now we will bring forward the same amount, that is 2,04,500, to the next month beginning. So we will mention to balance brought down and we'll mention 2,04,500. And we'll mention the next month beginning date, that is December 1st. This is how we prepare cash book. If you guys have any questions, please post in the comment section below, and if you guys like my explanation, please do subscribe our channel and hit the bell icon